So we're going to jump straight into the class. We're going to start by doing another breathing exercise. I think it's really nice to do a breathing exercise just to get you focused. So you can use your hands again, you can use a resistance band, or you can use a scarf. So for today I'm having a resistance band. So if you have one, bring it around your back. As I said, you can use a scarf, and then try and keep it nice and wide and bring it across the front of your chest, so just underneath your breast, so fairly tight so that you can feel it. So just take a nice breath in, and you should feel your ribs expand against the resistance band. If you've got quite a tough resistance band, that's better, or a scarf, because it's rigid, so you get that feeling of expansion through your chest. So breathing in, you'll feel that resistance, and then breathing out, try and encourage the movement inwards of your rib cage by pulling on the band a little bit, so as you breathe out. So breathing in, releasing, your hands come together, and breathing out, pull on the band. You'll feel your rib cage depress, so go down, but also come in towards each other. So do that a few times in your own time. And I want you to notice as you breathe out, as you pull on that band and your ribs come together, can you feel your abdominals starting to work as well? So what goes on with your rib cage and your diaphragm has a direct impact on your connection to your abdominals. So we're just going to do that a couple more times. You can do this with your eyes open or eyes closed. And again. And then breathe out. So I would try and practice that once or twice a day. Really important, as I said before, really helps you to calm your mind, quieten the mind, slow your heart rate, slow your breath down. So we're going to come straight down onto the floor. So we're going to think about those exercises that we did last week, and then we're just going to build on them. So the first one that we did was your leg floats or your scissors. So find that neutral pelvis again, sacrum's nice and flat, pelvic bones pointing up towards the ceiling. As you breathe out, a little bit of tension, that 30% tension in your abdominals, and floating your right leg up, and then down, and then floating your left leg up. So what you're trying to notice is, can you keep that glass of water balanced on your lower abdominals? So we're going to do a little test now. So I want you to imagine your glass of water here, but also think about the rib cage, your rib cage at the back here being imprinted on the floor, and your abdominals here. So we're going to take your right leg and bring it into tabletop. And then we're going to bring your left leg into tabletop, and just pause there. What happens when you do that? Do your abdominals dome? Does your back arch? Or can you keep everything nice and still? So if you keep everything nice and still, you can carry on with this exercise. So we go up, up, and then down, down. If you find that your abdominals doming or your back is moving, I want you to continue just with the wake one, where you're keeping one foot on the floor and bringing the other foot off. So you'll build on that strength over the forthcoming week. So we'll just do one more each side of whichever variation that you're doing. And then bring your feet back down. Walking your heels a bit closer to your bottom. This time we're going to pelvic tilts. So you're rotating your pelvis, moving your pelvis as if you're going to move your glass of water up towards your chest, and then coming back down. So if you remember, we breathe out as you tilt your pelvis, draw your belly in, and you breathe in as you release back down. Still trying to maintain a small amount of tension in those lower abdominals. So this week we're going to start to progress by making the movement a little bit bigger. So as you breathe out, tilting your pelvis, lifting your tailbone, and then carrying on. So you're lifting up one vertebra at a time until you come up to your shoulder blades. Take a breath in here, and then as you breathe out, you're going to slowly just roll all the way back down. Great exercise again for mobilising the whole spine. So if you're stiff when you wake up in the morning, this is a really nice one to do, or if you've been sitting for a long period of time. So breathing in at the top and breathing out as you come down. So just notice my hand position. My palms are facing inwards slightly, or you can have your palms facing up to open up here. As you breathe out this time, pushing your knees forward, and that's going to help with the articulation, the movement of the vertebra in your spine. And then come back down. And what's happening to those abdominals? Are you still remembering to use them? So as we come up this time, press your big toe and the ball of your foot into the floor. And you might notice that you get more of a connection up through your inner thigh into your pelvic floor. And as you come up this time, press into your heel, to two heels, and notice that you might get more of a connection or more activation in your buttocks. So you can play around with that a little bit. We're just going to do one more. And then just lower yourself all the way back down. Hug one knee into your chest. Hug the second knee into your chest and have a little rock side to side. Pop your feet down on the floor, roll over onto one side and come round all the way onto your tummy. So last week we used your hands underneath your head. You can do that again if you feel that you need a little bit of support. Alternatively, you can bring your hands down by your side and just rest your forehead either on a pillow if you have one, or just tuck your chin in and rest your forehead on the floor. As you breathe out, slide your shoulders down your back, draw your belly in, remember that ice cube underneath your belly, send your fingers along towards your toes and peel your chest and forehead off the floor. Breathe in, come back down and turn your head to one side. And again, so you're breathing out, sliding the shoulder blades down, engaging those abdominals, sliding your fingers to your toes. You can also float your arms off. If that's too much work, keep your hands down, turn your head to the other side. Breathing out, coming up. Just keep that chin tucked down so you're looking down at your mat and you're not doing this with your neck stressing your head. So we're just going to do a couple more. And final one. And then turn your palms up, let your bottom relax, let your heels drop out to the side and let your shoulders come down. So bringing your arms out in front of you this time, we're going to think about how we can activate your gluteals, your bottom muscles. Again, really important part of your core. So I want you to think about just lengthening your left leg away from you as far as you can until you feel your bottom, your glute, you've got some activation in that buttock, and then just relax it and do the same with the other side. So give it a little pat if you're not sure what's going on. You can place your forehead on your hands if you want to as well. So just do that a few times just to help wake up the signals that are passing from your brain to your bottom muscles to get them working. And then if you want to give it a go, lengthen your leg away until the only point that it can go is to float up off the floor and then lower it back down. Same on the other side, so lengthen the right leg and it will float up and come back down. And just notice what's going on with your lower back when you do this. Is there lots of movement? Is there lots of muscle activation in your lower back? If there is, I want you to draw your belly in a little bit more, and I also want you to not lift your leg so high or even just keep it down on the floor. Make this your last one and then come down onto the floor. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes in once more, just rock yourself back onto your heels. So move your body forwards and backwards, just releasing off your back. Do that a couple more times. And then from here, just sitting all the way back on your heels again. Forehead down. This time you can bring your arms down beside you. Let your bottom rest on your heels if you can. You can always pop a cushion underneath your bottom. Let your forehead rest on the floor and your palms face up. Breathe into your pelvis, your back, and your lower back and your upper back. You can stay here for as long as you want, or you can bring yourself up now into sitting or up off your mat. And thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed today's class.